Every once in a generation, cycling produces a rider who doesn't just win, they change the rule book. In 2019, that rider was Tadej Pogacar, the Slovenian prodigy who tore apart the sport's traditional development curve and redefined what was possible for a rider in their early 20s. 6 years later, another name emerged in the beginning to echo in the same breath, and that was Isaac Del Toro, a 21-year-old rider from Mexico who in the space of a few months in 2025 has transformed himself from a promising prospect into a fully fledged star. The parallels between Pogacar's early years and Del Toro's meteoric rise are impossible to ignore, and the question is already being whispered: is the sport witnessing the birth of another generational superstar? Del Toro's path to this point is anything but ordinary. He was relatively unknown outside of Latin America until late 2023, when his results and raw ability caught the attention of UAE team members. In a squad already packed with elite talent, including Pogacar himself, Del Toro was not expected to become a headline act so soon. Yet, his mix of climbing power and time trial strength and fearlessness in the one-day races has quickly made him invaluable, both as a domestique and a leader in his own right. By the start of 2025, the question was no longer whether he could compete at the top level, it was how far and how fast he could go. The answer really came quickly. He opened his season in 2025 with a strong 7th place in the Vuelta at the Murcia one-day race, followed just 2 days later by a very strong performance in the gravel one-day race of Clásica Jaén, where he was strong and attacked the chasing group towards the end, with only the solo winner of Michał Kwiatkowski getting the better of him, and at Strade Bianche as well, where he rode in support for Tadej Pogacar, who claimed his 3rd title in that race. At Tirreno Adriatico, he finished 9th overall and 6th in the youth classification, where he worked for Juan Ayuso, and the breakthrough moment came in March at Milan-San Remo, where against a strong field, Del Toro was up there towards the pointy end and attacked hard when the finish line was approaching, dropping everyone and becoming the first Mexican winner in the 106th year history of the race, and even getting himself a fine for not zipping up his jersey. Just 3 days later, he showed his range by taking 13th place at Milan-San Remo, finishing as the best young rider and the top Latin American rider. And in April, he backed that result up with 15th at the Tour of Basque Country, once again winning the young rider classification while riding in support for Joao Almeida. But it was at the Giro d'Italia that really elevated him from rising star to genuine contender. In the first week, he became the first Mexican in history to wear the Maglia Rosa, seizing the lead after a dramatic gravel stage, finishing in to Siena and then holding the jersey with delight for 9 consecutive days, the longest stint in the pink jersey ever by the youngest rider in the peloton. Over the 3 weeks, he claimed impressive stage victory on stage 17, riding tactically well, attacking strong before the finish, and he finished 2nd on 4 stages and placed 3rd on another, fighting toe-to-toe with the sport's elite riders with much more experience than him in Grand Tour racing. Only on the penultimate day, his youth got the better of himself, as he was told to mark Richard Carapaz, but decided to ignore Simon Yates, who went up the road on the Col della Finestra and linked up with Wout van Aert to drive an impressive gap, and that meant that Isaac Del Toro lost the lead and also winning the Giro. But nonetheless, he still finished 2nd place and winner of the white jersey, which was very impressive to say the least. A Grand Tour that most riders would envy after an entire career, and here he had done it in only his 2nd Grand Tour, but he would take a lot from this loss. After the heartbreak from the Giro d'Italia, he soon returned back to racing, and this time at the Tour of Austria. He was very strong on the first day, finishing 5th there. On the second stage, he won from a small group in a sprint to take the victory. The following stage as well, he attacked in the last 100 meters, getting rid of everyone and taking the victory again. And on stage 4, he completed the hat trick by getting himself in a very elite group and then sprinting off the front. And on stage 5, he made sure to solidify the victory and thereby taking a sensational victory for him and becoming the second youngest, only behind Frank Vandenberg, who was 5 days younger than Del Toro, winner of the race and the first Mexican to win it. That impressive form continued for the Mexican as he went to Spain, and here he absolutely cleaned up the victories. In the Clásica Terre de El Bre, he won the one-day race after attacking 33 kilometers from the finish and staying away from everyone, much the same fashion we've seen Tadej Pogacar do. He then continued to the Odisako Classic, where he was getting help from his teammates and they worked very hard together, but he finished together with Igor Areta, who he gifted the victory to in a spectacular fashion. And then after that, he went to his big goal, the San Sebastian Classic, where he did attack hard, but unfortunately Giulio Ciccone got the better of him and he ended up finishing 5th place. That disappointment soon led up as he went to the next race, the Circo de Gescho, where a very strong performance by UAE Team Emirates got rid of the breakaway in the closing moments, and then Isaac Del Toro attacked hard with no one able to follow him, got a gap and contained that gap all the way to the finish despite chase from behind, and Juan Ayuso took 2nd place, and Del Toro taking a fantastic victory there with some good teamwork by UAE Team Emirates as well. When placing Del Toro's achievements side by side with Tadej Pogacar at the same age, the similarities are striking. In 2019, Pogacar's first full World Tour season saw him win the Tour of California, secure multiple race podiums, and storm to a 3rd place in his debut Grand Tour at the Vuelta a España, taking 3 stage victories along the way. Del Toro in 2025 has matched him somewhat in the level of versatility by winning Milano Torino, finishing up there in Monuments and claiming overall victories in the Tour of Austria and delivering a Giro d'Italia performance arguably even more impressive than Pogacar's Vuelta a España run, perhaps. Pogacar's breakthrough was defined by a fearlessness, attacking style, and an ability to sustain form over 3 weeks. Del Toro has shown the same traits, but with the added challenge of defending a leader's jersey over a week in a Grand Tour before losing it at the end. Both riders at this stage of their careers had demonstrated unusual mastery of multiple terrains and race types. Both have thrived in one-day races, dominated stage races, and performed beyond their years in Grand Tours. The difference lies largely in the circumstance. Pogacar was handed GC leadership outright for his breakthrough Grand Tour, while Del Toro's season has been a balancing act between supporting UAE's established leaders and taking his own chances when they came. That he managed to compile such a glittering list of results under those conditions only strengthens the argument that his ceiling could be just as high as Pogacar. Whether Isaac Del Toro ultimately follows Pogacar's trajectory in terms of results will depend more on just talent. His race program recovery and development will be critical, especially given the physical and mental demands of sustaining such form at a young age. Pogacar capitalized on his breakthrough season by winning the Tour de France the very next year, changing the sport in the process. For Del Toro, the coming seasons will determine if 2025 was just the spark before an era-defying fire, and with Pogacar seeming like he's fed up with cycling, maybe the throne will be vacant a lot sooner than he thought. What is clear already is that he has the rare combination of skill, ambition, and mental resilience to compete with the very best, whether it be stage races or one-day races. If Pogacar was the disruptor of a generation, Del Toro might be the heir, and cycling may once again be standing on the edge of a new dynasty. But anyways, with that, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know down below what you think of Isaac Del Toro and where his ceiling is. But for now, why not check out The Scary Truth of Tadej Pogacar Part 1 or The Scary Truth of Tadej Pogacar Part 2. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you around.